Congratulations, students. You've bought your first home. Oh, as your business, here it is, as your business math teacher, I couldn't be more proud. Oh, you've bought your home and you've set up your installment loan on a home, which is called a mortgage. And you know, it's someplace you can call your own. There's something really special about buying your house. But how much is that going to cost you? And how much interest are you going to be paying? And how long are you going to be paying it? These are all really serious questions. So let's dive into like what a mortgage is and how long it takes you to pay it off. So down here I have a table. Monthly payments on a 30-year, $100,000 mortgage. So yeah, you're going to be paying this off every month. And you're going to be paying it off every month for 30 years. Now, it is true that you can do a prepayment if you like have a bonus at work, but for most people, you just pay your house off over 3 decades. That's the most common type of mortgage. Yeah, it's not a joke. Like 30-year, there's a 30-year mortgage. That's amazing. So you're paying monthly payments, and 30 times 12 months in a year, that's 360 payments. So you're going to have 360 payments if you have a $100,000 mortgage that you use to buy your house. Now, depending on the interest rate you get, 5%, 6%, 7%, or 8%, that dictates how much your monthly payment is. And even 1% makes a huge difference. So if you get down to a mortgage interest rate of 5%, like that's a pretty historical low, like that's a really good interest rate. You'd pay $537 a month to the bank if you borrowed $100,000. Now, if the mortgage interest rates had increased because more people were taking out the loans, so it drove the interest rates up, that would be 6%. You'd pay $600 per month. That's a huge difference. And then 7%, and then 8%. If you get a mortgage at 8%, you see it's almost $200 extra per month based on the 5% versus the 8% monthly payment. So monthly payments can oscillate quite a bit. So when you are shopping around for mortgages and talking to banks, potentially the most important question isn't, well, can I get a mortgage from you? It's, what are your interest rates? Because even a small difference in interest rates can make a gigantic difference in the long run. How big? Well, let's say that you were renting for a while so that you could save up, and that you end up buying your own apartment. And it's a nice apartment, and near downtown in the city you live, and you're like, this is super cool, and I'm going to take out this $100,000 mortgage. And we're going to go through 2 scenarios here. One where interest rates are low at 5%, and one where interest rates are high at 8%. Right? So we're going to focus on the high and the low. So 30 years is comprised of 360 monthly payments. So what we're going to need to do is multiply each of these monthly payments by $360. 360 months. These are $537 by 360 months in order to understand the cumulative amount that you're paying for borrowing $100,000. And we'll do the same thing down here. Now, mental math skills are fun. I think I'm going to use the calculator for this one. So this is triple digit by triple digit. They're not super friendly numbers. Bear with me just a second. All right. Here we go. So let's go for it. So 537 times 360 months is $193,320. Let's let that sink in for just a second. You borrowed $100,000 to buy this really cool apartment. And over the course of 30 years paying it back, you pay almost double what you borrowed. Like $193,320 is super close to $200,000, which would be double of what you borrowed. Interest is the real deal with mortgages. Like over the long term, interest is crazy. I mean, like you pay $93,000 in interest, right? Because basically what we're going to do to figure out what the interest is we're going to subtract out the original principal. Right? This was the original principal, the amount you owed, and the remainder, $93,320, is how much you pay in interest. Whoa. That's a lot. Kind of hits you like a dump truck when you actually do the math. But wait until like the 747 airplane hits you with the 8%. This was $93,320 of interest that you paid over 30 years. What's it going to be with this one? So we do 734 times 360 monthly payments. Wow. 264,240. $264,240. Yeah. If a small tear is rolling down your cheek right now, I feel you. I feel your pain. If you have an 8% interest rate over 30 years, cumulatively, you're going to pay back $264,000 and like subtract out the principal. You only borrowed $100,000. Right? So the amount you owed originally was $100,000. And then we subtract this out. This is $164,240 in interest. That is like almost mind-boggling. That 3 percentage points in difference in interest rate costs you $71,000 extra dollars in interest over the 30-year time frame. I hope that sinks in for you, that shopping around for interest rates when you get a mortgage is one of like the most important things you could possibly do. Even if it's 0.25%, right? Like 0.25%. Even like if it's 1%, yeah, you got to take the lower one. But even 0.25% is very meaningful over a 30-year time frame. Now imagine what it would be if instead of a $100,000 apartment, you bought a $200,000 house or a $300,000 house. The amount in interest you would owe would double or triple. It's like your mind starts to like turn sideways, like your brain is like just rotating in your skull because you're like, I can't even believe this is possible. But when you take out a loan as big and as for long a time period as a mortgage, you're going to pay a lot of interest. So just be ready for that your monthly payment is comprised a lot of interest to begin with. In those early decades, yeah, you're going to be paying like a ton of interest. I think I need like a break after thinking about this because I'm just thinking about how much interest we're paying on our houses. Have a great day.